Video file 8. Treading on your twitching toes. I've contemplated these thoughts for years, though I still meet with people who do this. What right does anyone have to turn their backs on new initiatives, change and ambition when they themselves are stuck in a rut and are probably psychologically thinking the same things as you, but haven't got the inclination, energy, time or audacity to admit it? Or on the other hand, want to be thinking the same as you and want to have the drive that you have, but haven't realised it yet. Or simply don't want to because it involves too much hard work, disruption and heartache. Perhaps they are just not ready to make these changes, or maybe fate does not intend for them to do so. Leave these people alone. However, your destiny is calling you. Let them make up their own minds, and you can't wait a second longer. It's a difficult choice to make, and one that requires a lot of hard work in redirection and soul searching. It is better if someone else wants to do the same, then there's a chance that you can do it together. Your lifelong partner will want the same as you. Just give him time to adjust. Be there for him when he turns up at your door and carry the love. He knows you care and will be there for you, like you once wrote. And be there for him. Trust in him and all will work out fine. Let him take control and you be the leading lady. You will lead separate lives and connect when the time is right. He is going nowhere fast, stuck. There is no U-turn. Just around the bend, there is a new beginning. If you choose to move forward away from your situation, this can cause jealousy and friction between some of your fellow acquaintances, and only space and time between you all will counteract all this negativity that they are throwing your way. They will want to help and support you, but this will only irritate you and hinder your progress. It has to be you and your decision, and you need to be the one to ask for help, not them forcing their opinions onto you. This can interfere with a decision being made that is right for you. Keep your distance from them for a while and ask them to trust your judgment and believe that all will turn out all right without them worrying about you. This is only because they care and want to see you happy. In time, all will understand. Surely this makes you more energy-driven and different, a pathway through which change can happen, not the one who's made to feel in the wrong. Learn to trust in what you want in and from life, not in what others convince you it should be like. Believe in your thoughts and eventually they will come true. But this may take a long time and the path you take may not be easy. You have to have sheer determination and a strong mind to make your thoughts become a reality. Soon, all will fall into place and a new life made. No one knows what you are thinking, only yourself, so no matter how long it takes, just believe in the thought that what you are thinking is what you really and truly want from life, and things will eventually turn out for the best. It may not be the same as what other people, friends or family want from life, but it's what you want that counts. You are in this life to fulfill your own destiny. Lead your own life and do things for yourself, what makes you happy. You may wish to help others too in a similar situation to yourself. Primarily though, it's all our responsibility to change for the better when the time is right. Never expect others to change. They will change only if they want to. Love them for who they are and work with them through their changes. You have got to understand that people are all different, have independent thought patterns, varying aims and ambitions, and not all can understand anything opposing to what they have got. People who step on your toes and crush every ounce of drive from you are, in my opinion, putting their foot in the way of change with no consideration of how much this is hurting you and trapping you. If you love someone enough, set them free. If you can't give them what they want, then there is no point in being with them and holding on to them just because you love them. Let them discover things for themselves and find out more about life, and then when the time is right for you, let them back into your life if it is appropriate for you. Never look back, only look forward. Full steam ahead, there is no time to lose. It has to be now. Go for it. Go get your dreams. Just do. This is known as entrapment. The departure. Leaving. Decision made. For many reasons, it's time to leave these people for now. There is no easy way of saying this, but sometimes you just have to be cruel to be kind and leave those behind who disrespect your aims and ambitions until they are ready to appreciate you for who you are and what you are capable of doing. Above all, avoid all negative attitudes and comments, including ignorance of your life, and move forward swiftly, boldly and confidently, never to look back. Close that door firmly shut on anyone who disrespects you, treats you unfairly and abuses your good nature. This is the moment that sets you free. Darken passageways, the contemplation. Sometimes you may feel a little confused with life, and there are so many paths in front of you to follow, you may not know which path to take. It's like being trapped in a darkened forest where there are so many routes and no illuminated passageways. Whichever path you take will lead you to a different part of the story. Everyone is capable of being in control of their own destiny and has the ability within themselves to steer their life in whichever way they choose. No one should ever feel that they are trapped and that their life will never change, because that is just a myth, a lie. It is only you who can make the decision as to which path you take, and only you who will have to deal with the consequences, good or bad. Out of desperation comes enlightenment. You see, I keep thinking that life is like a game, but that does not mean that you should treat it like one unless there is a problem you need to overcome. Every decision you make in life will change the pathway that you are on and light up a new adventure. Like on a game board, the dice is thrown to determine your next move. But in life, you choose whether you move or not. Just a starting point would be to play a game of chance and to take a risk. Why not take the dice and throw 1 to 3? Is yes, and 4 to 6 is no. Let fate give you the answer. It may help you decide what you want to do, or sometimes you just have to question your heart. Your gut feeling will take care of the final decision. Make sure that you never put yourself or anybody else in danger when contemplating a new life on your own or with someone else. Never put yourself intentionally into potentially harmful situations or dangerous scenarios. Look after number 1, yourself. Never do anything to harm yourself or others, and do not take your own life or that of another based on this. Use the decision maker wisely. Seek guidance or support if you are unsure. This game is just for fun. The decision. Think of it as if on a game board. Ultimately, it is yourself who decides whether you move or not. Even when you realise that you have got to this point in your life, you constantly battle with your thoughts and emotions and other people who try to tell you their views. This unfortunately doesn't help, because it is you who needs to make the decisions. It's you who needs to make the next move, and only time on your own will tell you where your true feelings lie and where your destiny calls you to. Imagine that you are like the queen on a chessboard, protected by the ones who surround you for so long. Remember though, you can only move one step at a time. Make sure that you are always one step ahead of your opponent's move. Protecting the king is vital. You can move wherever you like. Whichever move you make sure that you never do it alone. Ask for advice, because the queen can always be taken. Trust in what is going to make you happy. Be with the people who mirror your wants, desires and expectations. Your gut instinct will serve you well. If something feels wrong, then don't do it. Be sensible and safe. Losing your grip on existence, torn. Have you ever felt as though you were slowly being dragged to the bottom of the ocean, losing every inch of your own personality, enthusiasm, drive and recognition of who you actually are? People around you try to judge, make accusations, make impressions on you that they think are right because they are the ones that say they know you. You may believe wrongly to think that they are right. They may not be. You may be right. These are the ones that are closest to you and are the ones who have understood you ever since you were little. You know no other way. There are people who respect you, look up to, turn to if there is a problem. and somehow you believe all the answers that they are giving, only because they have been on the path before, lived their life longer than you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are right. They claim they know all the answers, but do they? What about if you are right? You have to explore and come to your own conclusions. Learn to have your own mind. It is not a question of who is right or wrong, but of what advice can be passed on to equip ourselves for this day of age we live in now. For your situation, then follow this advice. Take the advice they give, test it out for yourself, and if it's right, go with it. A lot has changed in 2 decades. Using outdated information or advice can set us off on the wrong direction and waste valuable, precious time. How this generation has lived, another may have to live differently, as we adapt to our new circumstances. It is not as if any of the answers you receive are wrong or right, but it is the ability that you have that will decide which decision is right for you. This in turn will increase the inner strength you need to proceed. Weigh everything up. Use what you know and make your decision based on that. Act. Take action. Escapism. I, for one, believed everything that everyone was saying, and living in a dream world ready to bolt when times got hard. I did this at a time when I felt as if no one really understood how I really was feeling and why I felt so lonely, confused and unhappy. I began to live my life the way I chose. I was unable to think clearly, make rational decisions, and was constantly searching for the part I was to play in my life, and that was what was pondering over the point to my very existence. Everyone around me wasn't going in my direction, in opposition. It is your life that you are leading, and you are in sole charge once you have reached an age when you are capable of making your own decisions about how you wish to proceed. Ideally, it is up to your parents and guardians, your foster carers, your grandparents to give you the skills to be able to cope alone in this world, supporting you with gentle guidance. If this fails, you will ultimately feel very much alone and abandoned, and this is where this book will come in handy to provide you with support and reassurance for the next part of the journey. Your abandonment, loneliness and aloneness have been due to the lack of parental skills or responsibility and the duty of care, love and support, unfair circumstances that have been presented to you. Take the advice given, but learn to decipher it and only take forward that which aids you in your flight. Leave behind unhelpful comments. Traditional values, thought patterns, genetic moulds can be hard to escape from. This is called conditioning. You have to be mindful. Do what feels right for you. Let go of what is outgrown. It is hard to come away from a life that others have shown you, and even harder to let go of the traditions and moulds that they have instilled upon you. These ingrained experiences may not suit your lifestyle and be equipped to fulfill your own destiny, and you have to set yourself apart from this conditioning. This treatment of you and your upbringing may only be due to your own parents' upbringing and limited life skills, which are much needed and vital for our existence, but may not be what we need if we embarked upon our new life. That said, it doesn't mean that everything in the past was a waste of time. Learn from it and move on. Ever hopeful. When we are young, we are full of hope, full of wonder, and we are told that the world is our oyster. Our imagination is our most powerful tool, and we love creating. Then as we get older, our battle has begun, our bubble is burst. We quickly learn that there are those out there that get in our way, try to stop us from achieving what we want to achieve, and prevent us from ever being ourselves. We have to remember that we were once children. We were once young, and can return to that state whenever we wish. Everyone is equal and deserves a second chance. We all can strive to fulfill our own destinies, despite the conditions we have had to live through. When you wished upon a star so many times when you were young, and once believed all your dreams would come true, it's harrowing to experience the true reality of life, and the difficulties that people have had to face unnecessarily, and with great hardship. I began to fight this very existence, the place I only dreamed of, the life I was wishing to lead. It became an addictive passion of mine to create happiness, joy, peace and love, all in my mind, from my heart, all in my imagination, so I could experience the dream, when in reality everything and everyone was spoiling the world as we knew it. I knew that if I believed, then one day when others read this book, if they believed too, then we just might be able to create in reality what I had been creating in my mind. We would all be living the dream. That was my theory. I was determined to prove my theory right. In control. Take what you can from the advice I give in this book, but never feel that you are not in control. You have to make your own choices. No one else but you can be held responsible for your decision making. Every step you take has to be right for you, and no one can persuade you otherwise. Everything that you do, say and decide has to be what you want to do and must feel right for you. You must remain in control at all times, remembering that you are reaching out and aspiring to your own goal and no one else's. You need to weigh up everything. Choose the advice that best suits you and your situation and move forwards in your own way. Failure to do this will result in you feeling stuck and unable to fulfill your hopes and dreams. Each and every one of us has a purpose in life. We just have to first of all discover what that purpose is and then learn to become highly skilled in that area, become experienced in that field and be able to rise to the challenges that are given to us, to better ourselves and improve our circumstances. This book will help and guide you, but it must solely be your decision-making that carries you. Use what's written in this book as a guiding light, a tower of strength, and a reason for continuing to reach your chosen destination. All names have been changed to protect their identities. Pronouns are used instead of names to make it acceptable for anyone's situation. The eventual outcome, the intention of a perfect world. Keep believing and soon one day all our past, the state of the world we're living in, will become a distant memory. The structure, political and religious views will become obsolete so that we can all learn to work as one, be as one and drive the world to a better state of living. Helping those more in need than ourselves as we go. This book is not for everyone, but I'm hoping that the ones it does reach, it will help them to make the difference that we need to create the world we are destined to belong to and to live in. The world God intended us to belong to. The devil trapped us, but God is here to save us. We must not believe in any power of evil. In God we trust. For those caring, loving, thoughtful ones around us, read on. I am of no religion, but I continue to have a strong faith in God and his intended creation. Let's all help to create the perfect world he intended us to live in. We need you. We all need to learn to function again, feel and to be ourselves. Be the people we were intended to be when time began. Weighing up all your options and starting with your ultimate decision to stay or go from a situation is one way forward to achieving what you truly want from this life. Making your mind up is the hardest decision of all time. Sticking to your decision is even harder. I shall attempt to give you pointers along the way, which will help support you and guide you in your decision making and give you the strength to continue on your designated pathway. The outcome. It's tough to comprehend and accept, but we're all here for different purposes and solo, independent destinies. We will meet people on our path that will complement our hopes and dreams, but equally there will be others who will oppose every step you take. You have to be clever to decipher which people are good for you and which of those are bad. If you choose to go solo, you may find what you're looking for. If other people who surround you support your wishes, they may just come true. Reach for all the goals that you have set. Ask for the angels and God to support you and ask that your prayers be answered, your hopes fulfilled, and your strength to multiply. It makes no difference who you are, a believer or non-believer. Everyone deserves their voice to be heard. If someone's not listening, then you need to stand up and be counted. There is no place for radical cults, religions, or thought intended to harm or injure, even kill another fellow human being. The imagination. The imagination is a powerful tool. It can be used to your advantage, if you wish, to create an ideal life for you and your family. If you remain honest and speak only of the truth, even though some of the truth you may reveal will be truly shocking to those around you, then you will live the rest of your life free of guilt and contradictions based upon other people's wrong opinions and strong opinions about you because of their own inferiorities. Truth is all relative. It is all down to interpretation. Sticking to facts will reveal a more realistic description of events. Try not to embellish or overact or exaggerate. Religion and its barriers. Religion can be a barrier to a lot of us as we feel pushed outside a huge group of said believers in God, and yet we have to ask ourselves, do we have to belong to a religion, or can we just simply believe in God? Or if we choose not to believe in God, can we be kind, honest, true people instead? That way, no one is left out, barred or isolated. I have to admit I chose to believe in God as I felt my life became easier that way. My prayers were answered and I felt strength, backing, support and love behind me and surrounding me. I never fitted to any other regime but my own. I have a firm foundation, unshaken relationship with myself and God. This has built up over the years when my whole life fell apart twice and I had to piece it all together again. It's not that we don't believe, because the majority of us do. And if we don't, that doesn't mean that we are bad or doing anything wrong. We have to be strong.